Hello everyone, T-Man978. Thanks to TF Basement, I'm able to bring you this review for Transformers Kingdom, War for Cybertron Trilogy, part of War for Cybertron Trilogy, Leader Class Galvatron. TF Basement is a new store. Please check them out because they're nice enough to send this to me for free to review. And yeah, sent it to me nicely packaged and whatnot. I have a video of me doing a whole unboxing of this and several other things on my Instagram I put up yesterday. So check that out if you're following me on Instagram. If you're not following me, go follow me. I sometimes put things there that you don't necessarily see here. But anyway, definitely check out TF Basement. Link in the description. But yeah, I'm going to talk about him. But here's his box artwork right there that you can't see because it's light. And here's one thing I never noticed. I opened this from the bottom and they have that right there. At least I don't remember it. But that is a cool homage to Beast Wars right there. That is freaking awesome. Anywho, continuing the 35th anniversary of Transformers, the animated movie. Here we are with this Galvatron. It's not Studio Series, but like I said before, they made all these things to fit in with Studio Series. He has every single accessory on him right now, starting with this matrix on a chain right here. The chain is rigid and hard, not pliable plastic. I mean, it's semi-pliable. It has the same matrix attached to it that came with Studio Series Hot Rod and Leader Class Optimus Prime from War for Cybertron Trilogy. But yeah, from Earthrise and Kingdom, that Optimus Prime. Same matrix, but it's painted. On his back, he has these two guns that can store there. These little pegs fit into the slots. Right there's one on that side and one on that side. You can wield them as guns. Of course. All this stuff. I'm kind of feeling crazy even talking about this stuff because I'm so behind, but you get to see my opinion on it. This is what they look like. And of course, as you already been knowing forever, it is supposed to be the ship, which name I can't remember right now. The ship that Unicron gave him and his Decepticons to go hunt down the Matrix and destroy the Autobots. It's unfortunate they didn't mold it in purple plastic, but here it is compared to the Autobot shuttle that came with HasLab Unicron. So, as you can see, it's quite a bit bigger than the shuttle. It doesn't have a stand port underneath, so it doesn't fit on that stand that came with Unicron. At least not in any way that I can see. Now, besides being straight up the ship, it also reminds me of the gun that came with the G1 Megatron. And I should have a picture right here, since I don't know where I just put the toy at. Anywho, you can also flip this over and attach this like that. Hold it like this. He has a double barrel gun besides his big ass cannon. One issue that I have, neither one of these guns fit into the hand very snugly. It is very loose and I don't like that. Then we have this big cannon. It would have been nice if they could have put some type of little LED in there. That it didn't even need to have a rechargeable battery. I mean, put it in there and that would have been cool. But yeah, you could take that off and of course he can kind of hold it in his hand. No, he can't. I can't get the peg in there. But you can put it on the forearm if you wish, so he can be like Megatron. But let's put this here and let's look at him. Yes, this is one of the first run figures and his shoulders sit low. And I'm going to be honest with you, it doesn't bug me while I'm moving him around, but yes, the proportions are wonky. This bit of plastic right here is really unnecessary for the transformation. And I don't know why they didn't make it like smaller or something, so his torso wouldn't be so wide compared to his hips. But I guess they were adding in this when they were thinking about the proportions. So maybe you're supposed to be looking at all of this, and with this ace stance right there is not too much of a big deal. Maybe that's what they're going for. But from the back, as you can see, pretty clean. His back didn't necessarily look like this, but that's pretty clean. Not too much kibble. He always had the treads on the back of his arm. They weren't this big in the cartoon, they shrink. And I guess that's my overall. If I have any issues with this guy, when you're manipulating him, he just has so much going on. You have to readjust things, and this cannon is humongous and gets in the way. And sometimes when you move the arms, because the joints are so tight, you might do things like that and detach this whole section right there. And these don't really lock into place. They're very stiff, but if you bump them, they are gonna move. But yeah, not too much of a problem. He's painted where he should be painted, and I think he looks good. I will do this because if that arm thing is driving people crazy, you can reverse it like this to get the arms higher, but now you just have those, you have the two holes right there for the pen, but now the shoulders are higher. So do you like that better? And yes, there is a fix video out there. I'll let you look that up. Kingdom Galvatron fix. But one thing I meant to talk about, if you don't flip this around, you can port the treads into where that pin is to keep that kind of locked, but now of course you lose bicep rotation. So I'm thinking maybe they should have had it lock into the back of the bicep some type of way. That would have been better. The paint right here, which doesn't really make any sense. He got a new body from Unicron, so he wouldn't have any damage on there. I don't even know why they did that. Maybe they had extra paint in the budget because this thing is a $50 leader class, and they're like, let's give him some extra paint somewhere. But I think they should have figured out something else to do with that. I was told I could use alcohol and a paper towel to rub that off. We'll see. The head is on a ball joint. It looks up, not too much. Doesn't look down, and the head rotates and kind of tilts. You saw the shoulders. Yeah, that's a problem. Bicep swivel, and these treads move with that. Double jointed elbow and the wrist swivel. I didn't know about the wrist swivel. And oh yeah, he is pretty much waffle free except this one spot, and they did try to put a bigger block of plastic right there. And when they did that, they were able to give him this wrist rotation. So I like that they at least tried. So there is that, but outside of that, there's no real waffles. The hips can turn. If you move the hip skirts out the way, they can rotate even more. So that's good. Legs can go completely out to the side, come completely forward, go almost completely back. Thigh rotation, knee bends 90 degrees. And he does have ankle pivot. If you want more of an ankle pivot, you can just basically keep pushing and he will kind of untransform itself, but it doesn't look too crazy. For whatever reason they made this open up like that. You don't even need to do that, so I don't like that they did that. And this pops off kind of easy. So overall, his robot mode, happy with, but I like it, and I like all of his articulation, and I like the extra detail they went into to make sure he looks as cartoon accurate as possible. But I just don't like the fidgety things like this coming apart, this fidgets everywhere and you got to readjust it, and this thing isn't locked into place as well. So yeah, this definitely I wish clipped better, but if it wasn't for the little bit of tiny kibble that he does have been fidgety, it would have been nicer to me. And of course, if the shoulders were engineered correctly. Here he is next to the more important Autobots in the movie. Oh, there you go. And here he is next to his fellow city commander. That's how they were advertised at first, because they didn't want to let you know in the movie that he was going to be Megatron's successor. Here are all three heralds right there. I think in the movie, Cyclonus was bigger than Galvatron, but Cyclonus's height is variable because you can adjust his legs if you want to. So he can be taller. So now they're about the same height, or his horns are actually a little bit taller if you want. But he is definitely not as beefy and bulked up as Galvatron, because Galvatron has $20 more worth of plastic in him. And here's Starscream right there. There you go with that. Transformation. The transformation seems complicated when you're watching it on certain reviews, but it's pretty straightforward. Take the gun off and detach it right there. Plop the hands, make sure they're straight, and then you can just plop them into the cavity. This little opening slot right there, we can position his arms like this and get that in there. Now we can bring the treads up to there like that. Bring the treads up to there like that. The legs, go ahead and rotate them this way. These panels right here need to come up, and basically this needs to tab into that right there, that area, and have it like at this angle. Same thing over here, have it at that angle. Now we need to flip the heels in, and this can come out right here. And when you get that out, we can go ahead and bring this out until it's looking like this basically. Now we can go ahead and plug this together and plug this together. And these two, it's better if you overlap it and put it like that. Now this upper body, you need to detach this from here. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and just bring this into that orientation. Now pull this away from his body, pull that away from the body. And then we're going to also go ahead and lift these up like that basically. Now back here, with this out of the way, we can go ahead and lean them forward. You see that he would have an ab prints. The Fans Toys does this as well. Open that up and unplug this at the bottom, which will be able to let you put the head in there, and then flatten that and shut this. Push that, it gets there really tight. And now we can go ahead and I'm lifting the arms up so you can see. Move this up, it moves up on a double hinge, and we can move the legs up this direction. It might come detached, so you can just pinch them back again. And see, this crotch never needed to move. You need to bring this down in front of it. That's on a double hinge as well, but just make sure it's as flat as possible so that we can put this down into its position where it pegs in this area and right here. Now this right here, these are the side skirts. Bend it down and rotate them out like that so they'll be out the way. And now we can, this tab right there goes into the peg hole. Bring that down, and at this point we can, there's a little nub right here that goes into a slot right there. Do that on both sides. I notice after like the 5th time I've transformed this thing, kind of more difficult on that side than it is. Now that we have that in place, we can take these side skirt things and attach it to his shoulder thing. So it's really cool how everything reorients and goes into a different position. Now it's pretty much done, but just like the original toy, and there's no way you can get around it with this guy. You can plug that cannon in like that and take this piece and put it back like that. And he is done. He is a mobile Cybertronian cannon. And let's see, I'm trying to make sure the treads are where they should be, because he does have wheels on the back and the front, so it can technically roll. But I like it. It looks very reminiscent of the G1 toy and what you saw in the movies. In the movies, his arms shrink, and it didn't. Yeah, all of this shrank, and it just looked like little armatures coming down to some little treads. But of course, you can't do that and get the robot mode this guy has. So that's one thing that sucked about that design. But here we are. It is what it is. If you want to, you can take these two guns. Let me show this off first. You can take the matrix chain and this peg hole right there. You can port that there so it doesn't jingle all around. Have that there. And that did happen in the movie where he transformed, and that was still there. But now we can take this and peg these guns right here to make him an even more powerful cannon. So where's Starscream at? Megatron, is that you? Blah blah blah. Of course, they're coming out. They're supposed to be coming out with a coronation Starscream. That's what the rumor is. Oh yeah, I really like this cannon a lot. It comes together well. These shoulders, the joints are stiff enough where you don't have to worry about anything, and they're adjustable. I do like that. You can fold this up, and I saw somebody, was that Bolt Matrix? Somebody I watched had him being held like a gun by Scorponok. So there's that. Like this can move. So I don't know. I thought there was a more official gun mode, but that's not in the instructions. You have to come up with it by yourself. But I definitely like the way this looks. I was debating on whether I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it. Reverse transformation, take all of this off. And while we're here, I'm going to show you that you can keep this ported and put that there. So you could do that if you wanted to, if you didn't want to break it up, you didn't want to have that thing hanging there. But get this stuff to the side, and now we can detach this from there, detach that from there, and unplug this side and unplug that. And we could, no, I'm gonna just leave that like that for now. Now we need to basically get this off of here, kind of bring the legs back down. Open the legs up, put this up, put that up, and then shove these into there. Rotate, rotate. The legs are now into the position they need to be in. We can take the heels out and take these things and rotate them back into their position and peg it onto this little peg right there. All right, now we need to lift this up. I'm going to go ahead and put that into its position. And this kind of, it's on a double hinge. It needs to lift up like that. This is kind of difficult to get out. Here's what I was doing. If you don't want to use that transparent plastic, you can put this in there and bend back and lift it up like that. Be careful with that. Lift that up. Go ahead and bring this up, and then we can get the head out. Now the tricky thing with this is you need to get this kind of in there first while moving this up, but angle it in such a way where we can get that in there. Once you do that, you can definitely get his chest down flat, and then you can get this in there. If you don't get the chest flat, you won't be able to do that. Now we could take this and port it into the cannon. We can move the skirts back down to where they need to be. Lift this stuff all up, like this peg goes into there while another peg clips into the body. Do that, get this angled like it should be. Move these back. Unplug the forearms from the shoulders. Pull the hands out. Shove this in there as far as you can, but like I told you, it's gonna keep popping out because it's aggravating. And this. When you don't have a secure connection and you have tight joints, you're always gonna have to deal with things like that because the joints want to stay tight, which is good, but then those connection points need to be stronger, which they aren't. But anywho, I said everything I need to say about this guy. Thank you, TF Basement, again for sending this out to me. I super duper crazy appreciate it. Amazon is slow. If I'm lucky, my Scorponok, my deluxe class Kingdom Scorponok shipped, but they charged me for Scorponok and Rodimus Prime at the same time. Maybe I will get Rodimus Prime. I don't know, that hasn't shipped yet. Fingers crossed. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. Until next time, T-Man978 out of here. Join the Syndicate Toy Hunters Facebook group. Link in the description. Click the videos. Click the videos, baby. Click the videos. You should really click these videos. Click the videos. Click those videos, baby. Click the videos. You really should click those videos. Click